Oh, was it Allie?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if I got back to you, but it is just homework, which is on the white table under the chapter 3, or Latin 3 sticker. Let's see. Participant is not here yet. We'll join immediately. Latin. Okay. And we're good to go. Okay, this is the vocabulary for this chapter. We didn't look at it yesterday. Some cool words in here. There's a bunch of verbs, and they're all what we call these head verbs. These like verbs that can potentially and will begin indirect statements. But let's look at the nouns first. Lingua, lingua. I've shown you guys that word a lot because Latinos is like an adjective. So I use it like a noun, like Latin, but it should be like Latina lingua, which is the Latin language. So it's tongue or language. There should be a comma between them. Ferox, ferocus is a really sweet word that Virgil uses when people are killing each other. It means fierce or savage. Again, it's like an adjective, third declension. Fidelis, fidela is just the adjective version of fides, fidei, which we already have. Geminus, gemina, gemina means twin. As an adjective, it's kind of weird. I guess twin is an adjective, like twin sister, twin brother. It's like describing sister or brother.
Yeah, or like twin brother.
Right, but obviously they're often used kind of in a noun-ish way, as any adjectives are. Sapient, sapientis means wise or judicious as an adjective. As a noun, though, it can just be like a wise person or a philosopher. Ultimus usually means last or final, but I guess it can also mean farthest or extreme. So that's what ultimate means. Ultra means beyond. Ultimus means last, usually. Dehink just means then or next. I feel like we have like 4 words for then or next now, so that's fun. Like that's literally all it can be. There's no nuance that separates dehink from tomb or dainde. Oh well. We have some reiterated words. Ite or ant is just a defective verb that means he says or they say or she says or asserts. It can be present or perfect tense. And it's always only third person. So it's kind of like inquit. We've seen inquit in the stories, right? It means like says. Credo, so now our verbs, it means to believe. So that can start an indirect statement, like if I believe that, ... Something kind of weird that I need to see in practice to fully understand it. It can take an accusative direct object or a dative. Like if you believe a person, I believe that person would be in the dative. Almost like you believe in a person and it's some dative of person, object of credo. I don't know. It'll come up. Iakio. Okay, this is weird. It's yakeo. Yakeiri is to lie prostrate, which prostrate is a fancy word for laying on your back, or to lie dead. That's what the book says, lie dead. So don't get this mixed up with what word. What word is this way too close to? Right, which means to think of project or eject, to throw. So iakio, iakara, third io conjugation is to throw, where this is second conjugation. Iakeo, iakeiri, iakui is to lie or to lie dead. What is that even? That's weird. Nego means to deny. You can also translate nego as to say, and then just negate the verb that happens in that indirect statement, if that makes sense. I'm almost sure that'll come up eventually. So you can say it's like he denies that, ... or he says that so-and-so didn't, or like does not, or will not, whatever it is. Nescio is the opposite of scio. It's to not know. Nuntio is to announce. Pontifacio is just a weird version of facio facere. It means to expose. I think expose is the best thing to remember for pontifacio. I don't like the other one. I guess open too. But if it's open, I don't think that would start an indirect statement. It will start an indirect statement if it's like disclose or expose. Puto is to recompose, judge, think, or imagine. I always thought it was consider. I like consider better for puto, but whatever. Sparrow is to hope, and suscipio is to undertake. I don't know if suscipio would start an indirect statement, you know? I don't think it would. All right, but all those other ones will. Remember, that's what this chapter is all about. We are adding 4 types of new infinitives. And we have even more than that, honestly. Yeah. So isse is the new one to the perfect active infinitive. That's something that's easy to spot. The perfect passive, the perfect passive infinitive is going to be the 4th principal part plus esse. So that's like the easiest way to tell something is infinitive if like it's just getting this essay here, because that's obvious, like that's the infinitive form of sum. So you add that to fourth principal part for a perfect passive infinitive. We haven't really seen examples of that. Future active is going to be the future active participle. By that they mean fourth principal part plus this urus ending, urus, plus essa. So it'll be very clear that's an infinitive when you see it. And then perfect, future passive is, we haven't seen that yet either. That's going to be the fourth principal part plus ere. All right, we haven't really seen the future examples of that. We also have infinitives of the passive periphrastic where it's like agendus essay. All right. So we had our examples. This is going to be our key today, honestly, when we do see the indirect statements, which are, we're not going to see enough of them, honestly. Has anyone done their homework yet or started?
You need to send me the homework. I still haven't received it.
So it's even kind of like especially hard or something, you know? Okay, and Ben, I didn't send it yet?
No, you haven't.
I will upload it after my next class, which is my last class for the day. But
Okay.
I hope they have a lot of indirect statements. Upload. Actually, I need to upload all the homeworks. Busy week. Okay, what was I going to say? Well, now I want to look at it. But, okay, because we're going to do a lot of spot translating on the paper that McKinley just handed out. And I was kind of bummed to see, like, there's only an indirect statement every, like, 3 or 4 translations. So I don't know why they're not, like, throwing us.
Start with the third translation, go back to the first.
Well, eventually we're going to start skipping around because I just want y'all to see them. But we're going to use this and this as a key. So remember when the head verb is present tense, then like a present infinitive is just going to be present. Iuvara would be like is helping or helps. A perfect infinitive would be helped. That's like, of course, what else would it be? And then future would be will help. And it gets a little weird when the head verb is perfect tense, because the present will at that point be, let's say, imperfect. You're basically going to like, what if the head verb is perfect, whatever the tense of the infinitive in the statement is, you're going to take it back 1 tense. So when it gets a perfect infinitive, you're going to make that pluperfect. And when it gets this future active participle, or future active verb, infinitive rather, this is like a weird, like special rule. We're going to use would. So they don't really talk at length about that in the chapter. They just kind of like expect us to roll with that. So I'm going to try to roll with it. All right, we did that, this. Okay, this is the first one that we're going to spot translate. And they're just showing us the opposite. They're showing us a direct statement, basically. But it's good to review quisque, because we haven't seen that too much. It means like each one or each person. So each one, what is inquit, anyone? He said, always what? Kutopotare? Always considers or thinks that's what? Suas res esse magnus. Yeah, that's good. Is great, right? Yeah. So I kind of lied. It starts off with a direct statement, but then within this direct statement, we do have an indirect statement. It's all of this. Maybe I'll start underlining indirect statements like I used to underline relative clauses. Yeah. So starting with putat, which is a head verb, like he thinks that. And then, so I'm going to actually want to make my accusative subjects. I think I'm going to make them this purple color that we don't like. Because it's kind of between black and red, maybe? Not really, but because that is accusative, but it's actually the subject of the indirect statement. So always thinks that their own thing is great. Always think their own thing, just say is. Even though it is essay, we're going to treat it like it's just present tense s, basically.
We should have put Nero like this. Like every Nero always thinks their own thing is great.
Yeah, every Nero or Commodus or Caligula or Caracalla. Oh, wait, those are different colors. That's the accusative object color. There we go. So,
Looks like any purple or pink.
yeah, I don't like that. Well, that's why we actually made a new code. So we made, and I guess I could make this too because it's like a predicate object or subject. So there was this purple that we made. We kind of like that one. It looks better on my screen than up there. But then the 8th graders didn't like it enough. So today we made this, and I really like Wait, it's hard to do this. We made this, which I really like.
That's much better.
That's a real purple kind of purple, you know. All right, that sentence isn't amazing, but it's fine. Who wants to read this one? Ben?
Okay. Poste audivimus servas donorum case laboravisi ut milites fideles heri naraverant.
Narraverant. So I made a
Yeah,
typo. It is Servos. It is Servos. So when I left out the R or the V. So sorry about that. But I only care about the typos I make on house homework, honestly. If it's an in-class thing, it's kind of like, look at our expanded color coding guide at the bottom there. It's pretty exciting now. So we're using magenta for our accusative subjects of indirect statements. I'm going to use this like really nice purple for both passive periphrastics and participles in general. So even though ablative absolute, we were making the whole thing of color, I'm actually just going to make the participle part of it purple, and the ablative, like noun or adjective, will be green still.
So we have an expanded universe.
Yeah, we are expanding the universe. Thank goodness. Chicken Boy is telling us that post means afterwards, because we've barely seen this. So afterwards, Aldi Vimos, what is that? Wait, don't, no one say it. No one say it. McKinley, what person and number is this? Okay. I just wanted to make sure. But it's not said. It's not Dico Dicora. What is audio? What is audio?
Oh, that's a sound.
Yeah, so afterwards, we, but
We will
it's like seeing, but it's what you do to sound. You don't see sound, you,
hear sound.
yes. Okay, so afterwards, we heard, what tense is it, anyone? Yeah, what's the dead giveaway, Allie, that is perfect? Yeah, the V, basically. Because Emma's like, because let's see, the present, for all this would just be audimos. So it's just, the V is really the only thing that separates it from present tense. So afterwards, we heard what? We heard, and you don't have to use that, but sometimes it helps, I think, to use that at the beginning of an indirect statement. So it looks like we're starting one there. We heard that the what? What's going to happen within the indirect statement? What is serva, servi, or serva, servi?
Isn't it servants?
Yeah, servants or slaves. So we heard that the slaves, and so slaves is accusative, but it's our subject because it's the indirect statement. So he needs to be accusative to actually be the subject of the statement. Case of donorum, Anna. Good. Case of causa, Ben.
Ablative.
This is a very specific thing. What do we do with causa when it's with the ablative next to a genitive? Very specific. If you forget this, it's just like really hard to deal with this. Anyone? It's for the, so yeah, like we should have Chicken Boy giving us this note, but it's going to be for the sake of the genitive. So usually causa is like cause or case, but in the ablative, treat it like sake. And it's going to be for the sake of a genitive that's to its left or right, basically. So we heard that the slaves, for the sake of donorum, of gifts, labora visa. What kind of infinitive is that? Perfect, active. Yeah, that's what you meant, right? Right. Yeah, it can't be active passive. Yeah. You have so many terms now, it's crazy. So what? The slaves did what? What did they do? Yeah, basically labored or worked. For the sake of gifts, worked. Good. Now, hold that thought. I want to check our buddy down here, our little guide to using a perfect head verb, perfect tense head verb in this case. This one was the one that was kind of weird. So it'd actually be better if we say had worked. Because again, if the head verb's perfect and then the main verb in the statement is perfect, we want to kind of treat it like it's pluperfect, had worked. So again, when adverbs are present tense, everything is hunky dory and awesome. It's like really fine translating those statements. But indirect statements that start with perfect, it's a lot more involved. You got to like look at the tense of the verb in the statement, and you got to take it down a notch. You got to make it one step further into the past. Which remember, it goes present, then imperfect, then perfect, then pluperfect. We have levels to time in grammar. Okay. Huh? Will have verb. What would be after that, or would be before that? That would be like the, because that's going the other direction from present. That's like the most in the future you can be. Well, is that further than just future? Have done it. So I guess that's actually below future, but past. It's like further than present. I want to actually like sketch this out now. Right. I mean, future perfect is already such a weird case. But so we know present's in the middle, and we know below that is imperfect. Because imperfect sometimes is working all the way up to present tense. Like I was working, I'm still working. And then we know perfect behind that in blue. And then I think I assumed that it was just like future. But yeah, it's like, what do we do with future perfect? I would put it between somehow. I will teach, I will have taught. But I will have taught, that's happening before the I will teach teaching is happening. So they're kind of the same. So it's a paradox. And then I would put passive periphrastic also, because like something must be done. That's happening in the future. I'd say all three of them are kind of like the same. Anyway, kind of fascinating, mind-boggling at the same time. All right, so we heard that the slaves, for the sake of gifts, had worked. Ut, Chicken Boy's reminding us ut is this new conjunction that means like as or just as or when. So just as what? Milites fideles eri naraverunt. So that part's easy. Is the indirect statement continuing? Yeah, that is, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, it's not. It's miles militus. Yes. Yeah, faithful soldiers. What? Yeah, or basically just like told yesterday, just as they told yesterday. Yeah, so that's not hard. Yeah, so the indirect statement ends, basically. Y'all didn't seem to get tripped up on that. But like the way we know it has ended is because this is like a normal verb. It's not an infinitive. So by the way, Ali, the big thing in this chapter,
Sir,
yes,
you
Ben?
need to add had to worked.
Thank you. Yeah, Ali, so it's like, probably watched a video from yesterday, but indirect statements, they just start with words like they say, or he says, or he thinks, that, ... That's how we translate it in English. And the subject of these statements are going to be accusative, and the main verb of these statements are going to be infinitives. It's not as bad as it sounds, as I probably just made it sound. But yeah, you can check out the video on Teams if you feel lost doing your homework. Okay, this one, there's nothing new in this one, so let's do it really quick. What is Wakinos? Anyone? Yeah, good. So what words do we get from it to help us remember that? Your neighbors live in the blank of you. They live in the same
Vicinity.
Oh, nice, Ben. Good. Vicinity. Anyway, so something about our neighbors. What the heck is them? Oh, Chicken Boy's reminding us it's that weird third declension word that means power or strength. No, because what case is them there? It's accusative. What case is magna virtute? Good. So let's put that together. Our neighbors, to hink is just like then. We have not seen too much averto, avertura. That means to what? To no, we get the word reverse from this. kind of, or to turn back, or yeah, but yeah, the a makes it like back, whereas just verto is like to turn. A verto is to kind of turn back. So our neighbors then turned back. This is perfect tense. Turned, or I'm sorry, let's see. Oh, turned away. What did I do? Everyone look away. Oh, turned against. Why is I knew that when I wrote this, and now I don't know why I knew that. But so let's see. Chicken Boy's going to tell us that verto is to turn away. Is that already what I was saying? So they turn away what? They turn away the power. What? Ignis already kind of gave away is what case? Yeah, it must be genitive. Turn away. I think it can be turned back. I have to look it up. But yeah, so Ignis, what else could it have been? It could have been nominative, I guess, but that wouldn't have made sense. We already had our plural nominative is what we needed there. So turned back the power of fire, Magna Virtute. Yeah, with great what? Virtue or bravery. What kind of ablative is that, Allie? Good. When did we even get a verto? Yeah. With great virtue, then. Did we get a verto? I swear they're just sneaking in words now at this point. Oh, yeah. Verto is turn away or avert or turn back. No, reverto is turn back. So, okay, Chicken Boy was lying temporarily. It's just turn away. Not me lying. It's Chicken Boy.
Boy, how could you do this to us? I thought you were better than that.
Avert. Can you avert the power of fire? I guess so. So it could be averted. Turned against. Turned. But can you turn away the power either? I think we got to say averted. Which, like, that's probably what we should have thought anyway, because it looks like averted. Yeah. All right. Averted. No against. That would be like ob, whim, or something. Averted the strength of the fire with great virtue then. And then, whoops, what's the last part, anyone? Because what? Laudem atque dona? And yeah, so that's why they did it. They didn't do it for virtuous reasons. They did it with virtue, but not for virtuous reasons. Interesting.
How does that work?
I guess these are firemen who, like, Augustus basically invented, and they're getting paid in gifts and praise, like any person should get paid in. Okay.
That makes sense in the Greeks. No, I don't know. Were the Romans all about honor, or
That was definitely that was a value for Romans for sure. Or do we have any indirect statements in this one? It's not looking like it. So let's translate this one really quick. Yeah, that is an infinitive. Oh, no, because our good friend that we were just talking about, not seeing this guy much anymore. But he's here because of Poterenus, so that's fun. Maybe that's the best space for that. So hoc signum hoc signum. What's hoc signum? This sign. Periculi can only be one case since it's from periculum. Yeah, it has to be. It can't be nominative plural. So this sign of skip totum gentum nostrum tonget from Tongo Tongara to, and what tense is it? If it's Tongara.
present?
Jack's malfunctioning. No, no, what tense? Tense, right? What is that E tells us it's what tense?
It's present.
It's future actually, because Tongit Tangit would be present. So this sign of danger will touch totum gentum nostrum, our what? Yeah, our whole clan, our whole race. What is nisi? Oh, Chicken Boy tells us it's unless. It's the opposite of si. Or is unless the opposite of if? Kind of. It's related. So unless what? Skip hostum ex herba excipera. I got to skip two. Ac ob Italia pellera. So I got to skip that. Oh, there's possum. Okay. Pateremus is what person or number? McKinley?
It's the first person plural.
So our subject is?
Pateremus. No, we.
Yeah, we. And Ben, what tense is Patronymus? Future or imperfect? No. Ben wants to get a drink of water.
We'll use pottery.
Why are you
No,
saying?
I'm thinking.
What tense is it, McKinley? Why'd you say will? Okay, it is. It's future. So we, unless we will be able to, now we can take on these infinitives. So I guess this is just them being like, remember what infinitives used to do? So we will be able to what? Excipera is kind of like accept, but it's like the weird. It's not ACCEPT. It's the one that no one actually uses as a verb.
We'll be able to accept the hostiles from our city.
Right, meaning like get them out. So like get the hostiles away from the city or like out of the city, and Pelora Abitalia.
And we will be able to wait.
Yeah, Patronymus is taking 2 infinitives, right? What? No, because there's no head verb starting it out. It's not like we think the enemy will be able to. Yeah, and then Patronymus would have to be Jose, or it'd be. I don't know if you can even do a future infinitive of possum. Probably doesn't have one, but it'll be like to banish. So Pelora is kind of like to banish. I think of expeller, which is like expel them from Italy. So I took it as we'll be able to take the enemy out of. So Excipera is like take out. So I'm actually putting take and out on either side of the direct object, which is kind of an advanced technique there, if I do say so. Out of the city or from out of the city, and even does that make sense? If we'll be able to, no, that's not good. Even push them. Can't be pushing. Even push them out of Italy.
It's the barbarian.
Or banish. Banish is a little better. Expulso is more like banish, but Pello is like the weaker version of it. We have too many P ones now. Primo primera is to press or pursue. Petto is to seek or aim or beseech. And Pello is to strike or drive out or banish. Expello is just drive out or banish, not to strike. So Pello can just be to slap someone, or it can be to make them leave a place. Interesting. All right, no new grammar there. New grammar? There's grammar from last week, so I'll accept it. Duque Ferroci, Carthaginus expulso. What's going on with those first 4 words? Good. So I didn't immediately understand this was an ablative absolute, so good for Jack. Are we all seeing now that it is an ablative absolute? Anyone? It helps to have the macron over the expulso, honestly. That's our perfect passive participle. When I first saw Duque, I was thinking, is that the imperative of Duco Ducera? But that would actually just be Duke. Anyway, Duque is actually the ablative of like leader. So how will we translate Duque Ferroci, Carthaginus, expulso? And start with. Yeah. Having been expelled or just expelled or driven out. Yep, that's actually not too bad. So I'm using our nice purple for expulso since it is a perfect active participle. Remember, perfect active, they're just going to have the long O or the east ending, or I guess a long A, and that's like having been verbed. Where the present active participles are going to be like with the ablative verbing, and that'll have a third declension ending after an NT, like intibus. Okay, so space fidesque. What is space fidesque? Mm-hmm. It's not strength here. It's actually from good old weird. Yeah, what kind of men? It's like kind of like the super version of Magnus. Or brave. Brave is probably the more specific way to take magnanimous. And then room publicum is obviously what case, Anna? Yeah, that's accusative. And then contenabunt is what tense been or McKinley? Yeah, the futuristic bunt cake. So with the fierce leader of Carthage having been expelled, hope and faith will. What does conteneo actually mean? No, it is what it's close to what it is, or I don't want to say this. It looks like what it actually is in English. Can't talk anymore. That time of the day. But it not continue because it does. Yeah, contain. So it's contain. So they will contain what? Yeah, the state or the republic. And so it's not just hope and faith. It's hope and faith. What? Yeah, brave men will contain the republic. Okay. Habit of absolute practice is good, but I want more indirect statements. Is there one in here? There is. Thank goodness. Okay, credimos. Chicken Boy's reminding us it means to believe. So it's like we believe, ... that.
Mm,
Not has. So what is going on with the Lindum essay? The chart at the bottom honestly is not going to help you much because the Lindum essay is a what, anyone?
passive paraphrastic.
Yeah, it's a passive paraphrastic infinitive, which honestly, if you asked me if that was a thing 2 days ago, I would have been like, I don't think so. But it is, apparently. We believe that. And in the case of fidem antiquam is accusative because that's the subject of this statement. So I feel like I should be doing this. When I think of Allie having missed yesterday, I'm like, I need to explain indirect statements better. So this is the indirect statement. Fidem antiquam is accusative because it's going to be the subject of it. So I'm making it this weird maroonish magenta color is what I'm calling it. Omnibus gentibus, hopefully everyone sees that that's ablative. And I'm using our purple participle color for passive paraphrastic. So what? We believe that the ancient faith, something, what? Not will. Passive paraphrastic. Must be what? Not nourishing, but yeah, nourished. Omnibus.
By every kind.
Yeah, it's clans actually, Ben.
Oh.
You're thinking of Danos Generis when you say kinds or type. But yeah, so it's like clans or people or clans. Not must meaner. Yes. Okay, but I like our purple color. Good, especially next to that green. Looks like my favorite anime robot from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
How long is that title?
Yeah. What?
How long is that title? Because that's like 4 words.
It's just Neon Genesis, which means like new beginning, and Evangelion. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. It's like a made up word. Well, it's like EVA. It's not AV. Yeah, so it's not like avian. I don't know. This is on Netflix, but y'all shouldn't watch it until you're like 17. But even it's like something to do with like evangelize. Anyway, all right. So that one's not too bad. But yeah, so even though I'm gonna keep posting this little chart with all of our infinitives, we haven't really seen future active. Well, no, we've seen future active infinitives in the statement. We have not seen future passive yet. Maybe we just never will. But we have seen this passive paraphrastic infinitive. So, and that's not showing up on the chart. I kind of want to add it to the little chart. We've seen this now more than probably future active even. And honestly, it's kind of easy to translate because it's just like must be. Yeah, and it has to. Essay is going to be the infinitive there, so it's not like they can do the tricky thing where it's like future tense passive paraphrastic, where it's like we will have to do this. So we should always be able to just use must to translate a passive pair in a indirect state. But it's not. So that's what I'm saying. It's like we haven't seen the future passive verb infinitive in the statement yet. But we have seen a gerundive. So will we see a future passive? I assume eventually. Maybe it's in y'all's homework. But yeah, so I think we can always translate these as must be verbs when we see them in an indirect statement, which is nice. Because last chapter, sometimes it was like, will have to be verbed, or what was it, like were having to be verbed? Sounds crazy. All right, Dukes officium susceptorus. What the heck? Imperium accepit et imperator factus est. There's something kind of weird at the end of this one, but let me have Chicken Boy remind us of this brand new word here. This is from a verb that is suscepto, basically. 925. 5. So Suscepto. It's a Scipio. Skipera. So how do y'all study? Y'all just use your textbook now to study vocabulary? You write them down? Like when I project them on the screen just now, you like wrote all of them down? Oh, so you do transfer them. That's the way to do it, because like if you just write them down once, that's gonna do most of the work of like learning those words. Honestly, if you just like actually take it, because I'll be honest, I don't remember all of these words necessarily when I get to a chapter, but as soon as I type them up, at that point I'm like, okay, I basically know all the words. There's a lot of words in Latin, so it means to undertake. But so what's Dux officium susceptorus? What form is this susceptorus? Kind of crazy.
It's like that for you bunch of
Our chart at the bottom kind of, it's not actually an infinitive, but the chart at the bottom kind of might remind as well. Maybe not actually. You know the chart that would help us? It's so look here. It's because there's two. Yep. And this is only from like starting at chapter 24. See, it says Latin 3, chapter 24.
Man,
Uh,
better than the first year we had to go through
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. I wish for those simple days where it was only 2 words in a sentence, and I'm like, yes.
Right. No, but this is actually the chart that would help us here.
Oh, so do that.
It's future active. I went through all that work just to show you all that. Yeah. So the UR, remember that UR is like the only thing that actually gives it away. Because other than that, it's just the fourth principal part. It's susceptus, but it's susceptora. So it becomes this future active, and it's a participle. It's not like a it's not an infinitive or anything like that. So what would that be? The leader, officium susceptorus. This is weird. It's future active.
Will.
So we're actually not going to use will. We're going to use. I don't know if I can hint at this. We didn't see it too much back in chapter 23 when we first got participles. It was like, because future passive is like to be verbed, or future active is like not doing it now, but about to. So the leader about to what? Why is Chicken Boy not telling us about to undertake what? Yeah, or more like duty, not quite office. So with the leader, so this almost feels like an ablative absolute, but it isn't actually. Like you could do this with an ablative absolute. It'd be like duque, suscept. No, it'd be, we would want it to be present active, so it'd be like suscipientibus officium, or suscint. It would just be singular actually. But anyway, it feels like an ablative. So the leader about to undertake the duty, imperium accepit. What is that? Yeah. Why I need to break this up? Right, yeah. So let me fix this and make this go away. Accepts the command or the power. And, well, so you guys tell me, why did I decide on has been made imperator? Because what tense and voice does Factus has? No, it's not present. Factus est. Remember, when it's in 2 parts, think of 2 P's. Perfect passive. Perfect passive. So that's why it's he had. I know, yeah. He has been made a general. And this is kind of weird to me because I almost feel like has been made would take. Well, no, it wouldn't. Passive verbs never take a direct object. But like when I first looked at this, I was almost thrown off that imperator was an accusative. But yeah, it wouldn't. Passive verbs never take a direct object. It's just weird to me that, because we can't say, and the commander has been made. Like, that's the other way to take this. The commander has been made, or the general has been made. But obviously, like, if you just sit there and think about it, it's like what they're trying to say is the leader has been made a general. So it almost feels like a predicate nominative or something that's getting, like, channeled through this predicate, which is a perfect passive verb. Okay. Okay, another indirect statement, thank goodness. What is credunt going to be, anyone? Oh, no, I might be skipping some at this point. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I skipped one because I just
No, to believe.
wanted more indirect statements.
They believe.
So they believe that what?
That their master,
And what kind of master?
wise
The wise master. And then I see Veritatum as another accusative, but I don't think it's going with that. This is this new. I should have Chicken Boy telling us, but it means to expose. I think I do. There we go. Now he's telling us. Expose or disclose.
they believe that he was exposed by the
So credent is just present tense. And what tense is our infinitive here? Because that's the whole thing, this chapter, Allie. Is like now we have like 6 infinitives. We used to just have 2. We used to have present active and present passive infinitives. Will be exposed.
about to be
This is just future active, though. Don't make it passive. Just will expose, actually. Yeah, so this is actually very simple. It's just that he will expose the truth. So the trick here is, A, when the head verb, which in this case is credent, the thing starting the indirect statement, is present, translating the infinitive is like super straightforward. Like if it's present, active infinitive, it's exposes the truth. If it's perfect active, that'd be like patia fekesi, that'd be exposed the truth. And if it's future, which it is here, because the urum or the urus ending plus essay, it's just will expose. But also, I think it's weird that veritatum is accusative, and y'all just have to like understand that it's not going with these accusatives. That like this is the subject accusative, and then since we have another accusative now, you're supposed to be like, well, that's the direct object of the statement, I guess. So that's kind of weird. Yeah, and I also want to, when we see that guy, we should. Where is he? It makes me just want to look at this slide because it kind of reminds us of. This is like our key here. Yeah. So it's like this one. They say that he will verb, right? If it was, what is the perfect of credo, credera, credi? That would be like crederunt. If it was that, then this would be that they would expose her. That's the weirdest thing about when the head verb is perfect and the infinitive is future. What, McKinley? No? All right, this one I think is an indirect statement. And yeah, I'm skipping around at this point because I just want to do more indirect statements. We have, 5 minutes? So, vidi eos in urba reminisse et nobiscum esse. So I saw, but so them, this is kind of weird because like, well, no, I saw them would be how we normally do this, but since we're thinking of indirect statements, like them is the object form of they. So we actually want it to be they. Right. So that's why sometimes it's really nice to use that. It like reminds you of what mode you're getting. So I saw that they not remained. Not remember. Yeah. Remained.
in the city and are and were it would be they had remained in the city
Good.
and were with us.
Very good. Okay, so Jack just went galaxy mode on us. And I didn't finish. Did I not finish translate? Oh no, I just interrupted. So yeah, because this is the little slide that we would use here to like help us remember all this. So since our head verb is perfect, what's that been? Since the helping verb is perfect, seeing a perfect infinitive means we're going to treat it like it's blue perfect. Bear with me. And then seeing a present infinitive, which is just essay, we're going to treat that like it's somewhere between imperfect and perfect. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to use were there. I guess you could also say like, and they. No, we should make it more skewed imperfect than perfect because they have been with us sounds wacky. So we make it more imperfect, which is just going to be were. Or like were, I guess it could be were being with. No, that sounds crazy. But yeah, so I think that's the weirdest thing about this chapter, honestly, is this weird thing that happens when the head verb is perfect. Yeah. And then also kind of like getting used to all our new infinitives. And also getting used to the passive periphrastic and the ablative absolute. I want to see a sentence with an ablative absolute, a passive periphrastic, 2 indirect statements, a relative clause. I will. And plenty of
A
reflexive.
lot of stuff in one sentence.
Yeah. And plenty of reflexive pronouns. That'd be good. All right. Te enim esse. What is it? This is an indirect statement, but our head verb is like buried. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's no longer the thing. Yeah, chicken boy, why are you so crazy? What should he tell us here? What's the word that y'all immediately don't know on
Picture.
this?
Yeah.
Y'all don't know skio ski ray?
Well, I know it's
But you're right.
it's the-
You're right. Because now
I know that you.
I know,
I knew
I knew
that you
that you,
and
in
no,
fact,
that you in fact are the hope of me.
faithful to me. Yeah, good. All right. Good. Now, honestly, I don't totally know the rule for when the head verb is imperfect. So,
So what is
Well, you have an indirect out there.
again? What is the head verb? Head verb is
Wait, s-
like, but that I don't think it could. I don't think the head verb could be passive. I think I can actually roll that out. Because think of what that would be. It'd be like I have been. No, it could be I have been taught that. ... So it can. Oh my gosh, that's horrifying. Because, well, honestly, yeah. Because on this one, we have the rules for perfect. Like, the chapter lays out the rules for if the head verb is perfect, but it doesn't tell us what happens if the head verb is imperfect. So, I
we just go into like ultimate past mode.
maybe yeah, pluperfect is the ultimate pass. But so okay, because like let's try. What if we did treat essay like it was just present? I knew that you, in fact, are faithful to me. Does that sound okay? I knew that you. Would we ever say this? I knew that you are. I in the past knew that you presently are.
Or you say I knew that you
Right. So I guess that's maybe why. Okay. So I think we are just gonna do something that's somewhere between imperfect and perfect or pluperfect and pluperfect. All the options are available here. Maybe not quite flu. I knew, in fact, that you were or have been faithful. Have been. Yeah. Because I mean, we would say that every once in a while. Like, I knew that you are. No, actually, I guess we wouldn't really say that. Like, you might say it if you're talking about
you would say, I know that you are in fact faithful to me.
right, which would just be scree. It'd be skio. Like, skio. Okay. So maybe the rules exist for a reason. Like, there's a reason all these limitations are imposed on us because like that's just how language actually works. And we're kind of overthinking it at this point. We have a minute to spot translate something. Let me pull up what y'all are actually looking at right
Galaxy
now.
Wars.
Yeah, let's do some Gallic Wars. I'm sure we'll get more Gallic Wars soon. That was actually kind of fun.
That's only a small part of it. I thought we were done with
No, it is massive. No, we're gonna do more Catalan, which I can't. I feel like we've done. I don't know. He never goes away. But this is just like last time. It was basically actual Gallic War from Caesar. This is actual in Catilinum from Cicero. Then after that, we have more Cicero writing about Brutus, more Cicero writing about being old. And then a Catullus poem. Ooh, okay. We're gonna get Catullus when we learn the subjunctive mood. That's chapter 28. That's good. That's straight up Catullus. Amazing. It's about he's like mad at his girlfriend or something, as always. Quintilian. I don't even know who that is. He could actually. A lot of Catullus and Ovid is just kind of like sappy, lighthearted, sometimes funny, romantic stuff.
Why
So.
don't we do something like, why don't we try translate part of the Ovid Metamorphosis, like the first page?
It'd be kind of hard, honestly. That and Virgil, that'd be more like Latin 4. Latin 4, you could totally do like Virgil. All right, guys. We did most of the good ones today. Ben, good luck.
And then Latin 5, you're a pro, I think, forever.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, Latin 5, you just
Goodbye.
you can say that you know Latin. See ya.
See ya. Please make sure to post the homework so I can be able to do that tomorrow.
I will. I can try to do it right